Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy.
A lot of first and second round picks are already hurt. A lot of our star players that we were at least expecting for the season are already hurt. A lot are on IR. A lot are already confirmed to miss multiple weeks. And some we may or may not have next week that are some of our best players on the team. So we're going to go through this as a little fun, depressing game called Trade or Stash. Noah, you're going to help us out. You're going to help us understand these 9 players that we've got that we want to understand what we should do with them. This is from the perspective of a fantasy owner of the injured player. So if you don't have them, think of it in the opposite way if you should or should not trade for them, starting with the consensus #1 overall pick, Christian McCaffrey, calf strain, Achilles tendonitis. He's on IR. Trade or stash McCaffrey?
I think if you're at a point where you are the McCaffrey owner and you also have Jordan Mason, you have no choice really but to just stash. You're kind of – here's the thing. When McCaffrey comes back, when he's healthy enough to come back, when the Niners decide that he is good to roll out, he's going to be a difference maker for your team each week, in and out. If you have Jordan Mason, you got him there. You got the handcuff, you're good. Like you just kind of got to hold on to him. Now, if you don't have Jordan Mason and you're the Christian McCaffrey owner, I'm not really sure what you should do. I think maybe you should maybe you try and sell, but I don't know who's buying Christian McCaffrey without Jordan Mason. So that's kind of the thing. So maybe if someone picked up Jordan Mason in your league and it's not you, obviously, maybe you just try and sell McCaffrey to the Jordan Mason owner and be like, hey, look you make this guy worth holding on to, because once you have Jordan Mason out, McCaffrey in. That's kind of where I'm at with McCaffrey. If you've got Mason, you got to hold, and I think pretty much overall you should probably hold. But if you're in a situation where it's not looking good and you've lost maybe some more of these guys here that we're about to talk about, it may be worth looking into trade options.
#2, Cooper Kupp, ankle injury, going to be on IR. We'll talk about his other teammate. Trade or stash Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, so I almost was Googling tall buildings in my city when he went down. That was tough. It was a tough look. He jogged off the field, and listen, it was disappointing to watch. We kind of figured maybe something might happen. He doesn't come out for the second half. He's ruled doubtful. We wonder, is this because the game was a blowout? It's obviously something bigger. He's seen in a walking boot. You got to hold on Cooper Kupp, because when he comes back, he's going to continue to be that guy. We don't know the exact timeline. He is an IR candidate, so we could be looking week 7. That they have a week 6 bye, so they could just be looking to hold him out. Maybe they don't put him on the IR. Maybe they keep him so he can come back fresh after that bye week. Just missing those 3 games, but you got to hold on Cooper Kupp. I don't think the value for what you can get while he's out is going to be worth it if it just ends up being like about a 4-week absence. Yeah. Because again, when he comes back, he's great, and we've seen it. So you got to hold on Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Justin Jefferson, hamstring contusion, hasn't been ruled out for next week, but obviously with the hamstring injuries that have happened to other receivers, trade now while you can, or keep Justin Jefferson.
I think it's definitely a keep. I think Jefferson has come out and did post-game interviews, and he said he felt great. Or not great, but he felt like he was already feeling better after the injury in their victory over the 49ers. So I think you hold on Jefferson, and I think you've got a real chance to actually not miss any time. I think he can come back out next week with Darnold is what we're looking like. So hold on Jefferson.
Yeah, A.J. Brown, we actually learned on Monday night. He had a hamstring flare-up during the weekend, was ruled out before Monday even. But we learned that he was probably going to miss several weeks. Should you trade him or stash him?
This is a scenario where I think maybe if you're interested in seeing what's out there, it won't hurt to see what you could get for A.J. Brown right now. Obviously, it's going to be difficult. You've just learned that it's not just a 1-week absence. It's probably going to be multiple weeks. So I don't know what the return could be to its full extent. But this Eagles offense, while it does still look good, it's definitely doesn't seem like it might be as high-powered as maybe we hoped. And again, we're only 2 weeks in. True. But there are legitimate weapons here outside of A.J. Brown. And there have been before. Yeah, but this Kellen Moore offense looks like it's definitely going to be spreading the ball around. Devontae Smith was an equal counterpart to A.J. Brown. And obviously they have Saquon Barkley. So it's going to be interesting. I would maybe see what the market looks like for A.J. Brown right now, but I think you can probably go ahead and just hold.
Okay, number 5. Couple more here. We'll go through this quickly. Isiah Pacheco, fibula fracture, IR, 6 to 8 weeks. Will be here very late in the regular season. Trade or stash?
That was such a disappointing one. I think you need to hold, though, because we saw the volume he was getting. He was the absolute dude. Such a high snap count, such a high target share of the running backs. It's disappointing, but the hopefulness is that it's not anything tissue related. It's bone. So when they heal, they come back and they should be fine. So hold on Pacheco because he really is looking like he's going to be a top 10 back when he's in and playing for you. And so it's disappointing. It's hard. We're going to talk a little bit more about how you can replace him later in the waiver wire section, but hold on to Pacheco.
I am an A.J. Brown owner. Maybe I'll try to package something to get Isiah Pacheco for the future. Who knows? I'll consider it. Number 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown, hamstring injury plus cramping, not ruled out for next week. Trade or stash?
It's stash. I'm holding on to him. It seems like the reports were that it really was just kind of some cramping and that he's going to be back. He's going to be good. So it's definitely stash.
Last 3 here. Puka Nacua, sprained PCL on IR, going to be out another 7-ish weeks. Stash or trade?
I'm so conflicted on this because it's like,
you like him?
I love Puka, but it's also, do you trade him on the prospect? What are you getting on the dollar? What's the return? I think at this point you still hold just because. What's the return going to look like? I don't know. Is he going to come back before Kupp? Probably not. And so I definitely think this is so depressing. This is so sad. Like, all these guys we love, and it's just terrible. Hold on Puka while you can. Definitely don't. Especially if you have an IR slot, he's worth putting in there. So
yeah. Okay, last 2 here. Joe Mixon, ankle injury, not ruled out for next week. There may be some tests that we don't know about just yet for what the result is, but do you trade or stash?
I think you stash. I think the opportunity and the volume he's getting is too valuable to let go of just for maybe a short-term thing. He did attempt to come back in the game and return, and so while that didn't go exactly according to plan, it's not looking like it's necessarily going to be a long-term injury here. We might miss a week, but we're still waiting to hear more.
Okay, and last but not least, Deebo Samuel. Just suddenly Monday we find out, oh, by the way, you have a calf strain, and he's going to miss several weeks, not yet placed on IR. Trade or stash?
It's difficult. I understand. It's hard. It's so early in the year, though, guys. I think you just need to hold, especially it's hard. I need to hear a little more about this. But Deebo, to our prediction, Wes, is the top wide receiver in this offense.
Yes.
And we were on board with this all offseason. And so when he comes back, ideally, hopefully, there's not some bad juju in the Gatorade with calf strains here over in San Francisco. But ideally, he's back in the next couple of weeks, and he just continues doing what he's been doing. Because he was making plays this weekend that I was like, dude, I haven't seen Deebo make those plays in his career, I don't think. He had 2 big catches where he went up over the middle to get him, and it was like, oh, this guy is playing every role right now. So
good.
If you made it through without a ball in your eyes out, there you go. There's an injury breakdown for you.